Hello, everybody. It's very late at night, but this is the best time for me. As I always told you, it's quiet, everybody's asleep. And today I'm going to show you that I pampered myself. I went out for lunch with a friend of mine, and Oxford bookstore was right there in Park Street. So I pampered myself with four books. One is this, okay? India's Most Haunted. It has the Bangar story in it. And then I love stories from Bengal. So I picked up two, and the author is Bornali Shaha, and this is one more I picked up. I'm so excited about reading them, especially since I'm going on holiday. Sorry, this is the science of the supernatural. So I wanted to see what this had to say scientifically, and again another one by Bornali Shaha. Okay, so now I can't tell you these stories. You have to go and buy the books if you want to. And in fact, two of them I got on a discount because there's quite a discount going on in the Oxford book house. And I went and searched amongst them, and I found two of them on discount, and they were pretty good because they give you um, narration from different aspects. Okay. Now, I had posted earlier, today is my paranormal night. I haven't had it for some time, so, you know. Now, I had posted about four videos I had to delete because there are some of my family members who watch, and before I had this, this whatever device, my words were not very clear. So they kind of told me that it sounded a little like I was fumbling, like it was too soft for them to hear what I was saying. So I went back and I could understand what I was saying, but if others can't, then I took them off and I thought that uh, I'll sort of repeat them with a better version since I have this and I can be heard. Now, you know how much the paranormal excites me. There are people like me, and some people just the minute they hear it, they say, okay, I'm leaving the room. I can't sleep at night. I can't watch a horror movie. By horror movies, I don't mean the ones which are blood and gore, but a really nice story, you know. So, which seems simple, but there was something otherworldly there, that kind of a story. Not where people turn up with long nails and bloodied faces and all that. I hate that kind of stuff. I would never watch that. So, I thought of going back to two of my stories, or maybe even three, and because I had a experience of sleep paralysis once, so I shall start with that. Uh, I was very young at that time. I was still working in Calcutta, and we used to get tickets to travel. So I used to often go, like 2 winters during Christmas. I went to my cousin's house in New York, New Jersey, actually. We used to love Christmas over there. I used to even love the Christmas here. We used to go for the midnight mass because it's something worth seeing. I don't know how good the quality of the mass and everything is now, but everybody had a candle and this light. Every candle was lit up. The whole cathedral was dark. The St. Paul's Cathedral in Calcutta, and there was something so divine about it. So even though I couldn't follow everything, and I was quite small, I might have even been falling asleep because but it was the on my mother's side, let me tell you that on my mother's side is a Christian um, bent because my grandfather, he came from a very 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 staunch Hindu family, but he came under the missionaries. Okay, and in the time at that time, uh, like I've never seen him, but as a very young man when he was studying in St. Xavier's, he got converted. He converted. So that's where there is one line of Christians in our family. But my mother, being born into a Christian family, she got married to a Hindu, And she was never into religion, whether Hindu, Christian. She said, "My work is my worship. My work is my religion." But she never imposed anything on us, and we just came up in a Hindu kind of a household. So that's how there's part of the family is Hindu, part of the family is Christian. So that's how I used to end up going for masses, and sometimes I used to forget that I'm not a Christian, you know. We have to go to church tomorrow. And I would say, no, I don't have to go. And I used to visit them on holidays. No, you must come, you'll have your porridge and then you're going to church. Okay, so I used to go with them, and but I remember the midnight masses, you know, over there. So when I went to New York the first time during Christmas, I was so in awe of the place and the way it's been done up, you know, like right through Christmas. You could feel it in the air. You could feel it on every lamppost, every gate of everybody's house, the big wreaths they put. And I was so stupid. I was so stupid. It's the first time I saw snow. And I was driving back from the airport to the house, and I was asking my cousin, why do people throw cotton wool outside the house? He's saying that's not cotton wool, that is snow. It's going to harden and become terrible in a few days' time. It's going to get slushy, and you'll see how it unfolds. But it was looking very pretty at that time. So there was jingle bells, and there was, you know, all that was going on everywhere, and the radios, and so it was a very Christmassy feeling. Okay. Now, I was a bit of a late riser. I mean, even though I'd gone there, I wasn't like, I have to be this, I have to see that, because everybody's working. You've got to understand that. You've got to find your way around. You have a safe place to stay. You have a bus that comes right outside. You have to keep yourself safe because there wasn't really like so much crime at that time. I'm talking about the 90s, okay? So, as there is now. So, but we did see the Americans. I mean, the Native Americans are the real Americans. But after they left, the normal, you know, white skin, whatever colored hair, you know. So we saw a lot of all that. My last trip to New York, I was horrified. I was just, I didn't know. Every country looks the same now because where are the original people? They're not there also. It's like overrun by India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Philippines, this, that, the other, the Middle East. So everywhere there is everybody. But those days you did see the people there come out, okay? So coming back to the story of my sleep paralysis, it can be very scary. So one day I was sleeping, I used to sleep, it was a small apartment, there were some other cousins also. And my brother used to go off to work very early. Like he had to take the bus and then the train and get into the city. So he used to always knock off a little early. We cousins used to sit and chat. And I used to sleep in the drawing room, okay, on the sofa in the drawing room. So one day he left telling us that, listen, the plumber is going to come. Okay, there's a slight plumbing problem and he's going to come. He sort of tapped me in the morning and told me that. So he said there'll be somebody at this door, so you need to open it. Okay, I'm locking it and going, but you need to open it. So I heard him and I went back to sleep. And then suddenly I was sleeping on my back. I just felt that I couldn't move. I just couldn't move. And as if there was somebody who was once near my head and once near my feet. Once near my head, once near my feet, you know, or around me, circling around. And I am, why the sensation is, I don't know what sleep paralysis is about, really. I don't even know if it's paranormal or it's just nerve thing or it's a substate when you're sleeping. But if it happens to you, it can be very frightening because your mind is completely awake, but you can't open your eyes, you can't move a single limb. And I was like that for a good 10-15 minutes. I couldn't even scream, you know. And finally, when I felt this It could be like someone sitting on you, someone walking around you. And I had heard nothing like that in that colony, like my brother never told me about anything that had happened to him. But possibly he had no experience. But I had a sleep paralysis experience. And when I came around slowly, like I could open my eyes and I felt lighter. And I could get up and sit and then just look around and say, what just happened? What just happened? I mean, I was awake. Why couldn't I move? So I don't know what state of sleep or consciousness I was in to feel that. I'm not saying it is something necessarily paranormal. I'm saying that when it happens to you, it can be a very scary experience. And this happened to me way back early 90s. And then I got up and went and made a coffee. The others were sleeping in the other room. And I didn't tell anybody anything about it because I really don't know, like my very first story where I said I saw something but I couldn't make out till I realized there's something darker than the darkness out there. And then it was a figure. And sleep paralysis, there must be a scientific, sorry to like that. There must be a scientific reason why it's happening. But the main fact being that why it happens, at least I don't know. But it's very scary. So that was one I had had over there, and that's the only one I've had outside my country, except for the ones in Dubai, which I may have told you some. I'll go back and see what I missed. Okay, but I think in the videos I cut out, some of it might have been there. So I will repeat those stories now that I have a better equipment. So with me in Dubai is still a batchmate of mine. She was a school friend of mine. And I didn't know that she was in Dubai. She had never got married. She was that kind of girl who we thought the minute she gets out of college, the first thing her parents are going to do is get her married. And I met her after years. Someone just rang me up and said, "Hey, speak over here." And this friend of mine comes online and she says, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not taking her name online." I said, "What are you doing here?" So she said, "I'm working with a media company." And her office was bang opposite my office also. So I said, "You're so close, you're across the road every day. We've been in the same school, we passed out together, and we don't even know that we're both in the same town." And this is like a school reunion thing. Like how many more are there like us from the same school who are in Dubai? Not very many really actually. But there were some from different batches. But she was directly from my batch. So I went one day and I picked her up. I brought her home, and we used to meet quite regularly after. She was a lovely person, very simple at heart. And she said, "No, I didn't end up getting married." And so it's your choice. I mean, whatever makes you happy. So this keeps reflecting my own face or something back at me. So we spent some time, weekends she would come away, and that time we used to really mehendi our hair. We used to go on Sunday mornings, we used to have breakfast and wear our worst clothes and get into the car and go or like drive pretty far to one parlor whose color of mehendi we loved on our head. And then we put that and cling wrap our heads, literally cling wrap all this hair is in a cling wrap with towels on our shoulders. We will come back home and continue watching movies and eating and all that because we want the color to be there for a long time. So this friend was with me for almost 6 months, in and out. After some time, she went and spent with somebody else also, and most of her stuff was with me. And one day we were talking about paranormal stuff, so she saw that I had quite an interest, and she said, "Well, if you want to know, then I'll tell you too. It's not my experience, but it is my mother's experience." So I said, "What is that like?" So she came around with two stories, saying that her mother used to work for maybe an NGO, okay, and she was attached to certain rural areas where she had to visit on her own, and she used to take the train and go there. And they used to send a goru gari, kind of a thing, a cow, a cart that's dragged by cows. Like we see in old Chotuchitri movies, the bride is sitting, inside this little thatched uh, place on the back of the cart on the cow. So something like that used to go to collect her. They didn't have cycle rickshaws and all. Even many years ago, this story. So she said that they used to go to the paddy fields, and that man knew exactly where to take her because he was attached to that place also. And he used to often be sent to the station to fetch people. So right through the ride, she wasn't looking out because she could not see because in case she loses her balance because the thing is just rolling and pitching and going and rocking and all that. She kept feeling these foots going along with her. And somebody was walking along with the cow cart, sometimes running, sometimes slowing down, sometimes, So she was inside the cart wondering, where is this foot? And it's just with them. It's not like they ever overtook it or anything, that you see who it was. So then she called out to the man who was driving, handling the cows on the cart, that there's somebody walking along with us. Why don't you just stop and see or give him a ride if, he's kind of right here next to me on the other side. So that cow cart man told her, don't look out, don't think about it, just let's keep going. There is nobody over there. Because he could see everything, right? She was inside a covered place. He could see everything. He said, even if you hear anything, just ignore it. And that footfall kept on going for a long time till at some point it came, and when they took a turn from some point, it stopped. So what was it that was going along with them? And a cow cart doesn't go very fast, but sometimes he would rush it. So when he would like rush the cow, so when he did that, then this thing picked up speed. Again, when they slowed down, this thing slowed down. And he can see from outside. And he probably just turned back to see that there was nothing over there. Nothing. She could only hear. And maybe he heard too, but these village people have a lot of beliefs, so they won't indulge in it. They'll just let it be. They'll just keep going forward until something happens. So he said, don't even try to look out or give it any notice. Like if whatever you're hearing, you're hearing. That's it. So that day she said that there was something. There was something. She told my friend there was something. Another time when she went to the same place, she was going in the same cart, and from a distance she saw this huge tree, quite captivating, and below that was standing a widowed woman. Okay, in the villages like widowed woman, very senior and things like that. And but she was at a distance, and she saw nobody else on the road. So she obviously your eye then gravitates towards the one person who is standing there, and you're looking around, and then you come back and say, so slowly they were coming closer to that. I don't know what the person who was handling the cows, how he could see all that and still keep going, but I guess they're used to it. I believe sometimes they light a fire to keep a distance in the form of a small lamp which is going hanging from the bottom because they say it keeps them away. But what she saw was just as horrifying. She saw um, the lady who was standing there had no face, no features on her face. And she was just standing there, so you can't make out which way she's looking, but it was like a blank face. There was nothing there. And by then she had caught on to the vibes of these things that happen in villages, you know. So these were the two stories that my friend told me, and it kind of stirred me then that if her mother has seen it, there must be some reality to it. I mean, she's not able to make up such things. It's only two stories she had. I keep talking about many experiences. That was her experience. And sadly enough, like my friend, she left a lot of things with me. And I told her that when I return to India, I'll have them packed because she couldn't take it. She didn't have them. Her job had gone and she waited around for a couple of months and then when she got nothing, she had to come back. So she said, listen, I got this beautiful bamboo vase. It's a favorite of mine. When you come, you bring it, otherwise, you use it over here. So I put that away in her name, saying that whenever I go to Cal, whenever the packers and movers go, because that's not something they want to allow me to carry on the aircraft by my side. And it's a fully tall glass, slim glass vase. Then she had a rosary which was blessed by Mother Teresa. I tried to send that across, but it was so unfortunate. I sent that across to a friend of mine who lives in her area. My friend kept saying, where's your friend? She didn't go to collect it also. So that thing is with her and it's hers. Like and some few other things, Thakur Jinesh, she used to pray. So one day I rang her up and I said, you've left all this over here, what do I do with it? And she in her one word said, ভাসিয়ে দে. It's like আমি ভাসাতে পারবো। এটা তোমার ঠাকুর ছিল, তুমি তাহলে ভাসিয়ে, you could have gone. Why do you expect me to take and put them all into it? So anyway, what I did is whatever was left over there, I put it on my ashram and my altar and I continued worshipping. And I think it's come back with me over here. But the sad thing that happened is that my friend got meningitis. And she used to have these terrible headaches. And she succumbed to that. After staying in the hospital for many months. And it was sad. I didn't get to see her, but kept news that she was deteriorating quite a bit. Initially, she was still responding, but after some time, she was not responding anymore. Same friend of mine. And I told a friend of mine, another friend, that the day I land in Calcutta, the very next day, we'll go and see her and come. She may not be able to talk. The day I landed that night, only he rang me up and said she's slipping away. I don't think she'll be there till morning. And there was no way that we could go at that time hour of the evening or night because hospital has its rules. And sure enough, by next morning she was gone. So I was left with her things over here. I was at least fortunate enough to be there on her funeral day. And when I say funeral, you know what I mean. I'm not talking about Shraddha and all that, but the day she died. So as a friend, I stood there till she was completely gone. And recently, another friend went. And that leaves me thinking a lot of things. That why do we keep fighting over a flat or a thing or a stupid lamp or a cupboard or a room or because when we go with nothing. We go absolutely in the plainest of no one's going to put a shoboshachi lehenga on somebody unless somebody who's absolutely way above the top. I put them in the oven. They'll put a more simple outfit. So none of it we take with us. So in life, why do we keep on squabbling about it? This was mine, or that was mine, that should have come to me. It's useless, it's useless. Even Alexander the Great, I've heard, I think I saw a sketch that when they were carrying him, he had told them that keep my two hands out, let it hang from the bed they had made for him to show the world that I'm taking nothing with me. Whatever you have to enjoy and experience, you will experience right here, right in this world. Let me see how much time do I have. I don't have much time, 24 minutes. So let me see if there's another one I can tell you. Yeah, it's about my own mother. Short one, very short one. Uh, I see her in my dreams. I never see her. She's never appeared to me. But after she passed away, there's a picture of her in the same picture as you see at the back. There's one in my sister's house. And then my sister puts a mala every day. Like, I don't do all that. She's there next to me. She's there next to me. But every other day or every day she puts a fresh mala. We don't worship her because they say you should not worship the dead. They're not gods. But you can't let your mother go, right? It's still right here. And as long as we two sisters are there, till we join, hopefully, her, we will continue doing this over here. So, what happened is one maid joined our house. Sorry, it's so cold. Joined our house to work. And she had never seen my mother. She had heard of my mother, but she had never seen my mother. Okay? My mother had a special way of walking. If she wore something long like a kaftan with one hand would be her keys, and with the other hand she will lift the kaftan a little bit so that it doesn't get entangled in her toes when she's walking. And that became sometimes she used to hold up both sides a little bit, you know. It was very sweet the way she used to do it. But she used to just get out the bed and she used to just pick up from two sides just a pinch so that it didn't tangle in her feet. So this maid of mine, she does not know that. She knows my mother is there, but that my mother used to walk around like that, she didn't know. She had no idea about that. She says that one night she saw a lady. To her, it didn't make sense then, but she seen my mother come from where that picture is and disappear into that picture only. Walking exactly like that, like she's wearing a long dress. She's wearing she's picked up the front and she's walking. She kind of came to where they were, maybe to see, and then she turned around and walked back, and she just like I won't say smoke. She just disappeared from that area. And my sister was sleeping in the room in which the photograph is. Like I sleep in the same room. And she next morning asked my sister that last night I saw something. This was, I think, within the first year of my mother's death, which is the most crucial time because your portals are all open. However much you may wear this, that, your portals are all open. You know? So she told my sister that last night I saw a lady wearing this kind of a dress, which my mother used to wear. Dress means a long kaftan. She lifted up um, her kaftan from front and walking came to our room, took a look at us, and disappeared back into the photograph. And this has happened many times. So my mother has never shown me any apparition. She shows it in other ways, but not as an apparition. You know? And it was almost like a full bodied, this very hazy thing that just came, stood. So that's my story for today, and I wish you all a good day because it's past midnight and you can see that I'm like half asleep, but it's the best time for me to do it, you know, because everything is silent. And I bought these four books to keep me company. By the way, I will be away from second to seventh, but as I said that I will take you all once I reach Goa. Uh, I will take you all around with me and show you whatever I see. And I'd been to Goa years ago. Soon after I got married in 95 or 96, I went. And I hated they had that Damania sort of a jet boat. My God, I was like throwing up all night, you know. And I had to come back and back to Bombay. But we had some very memorable days, and I'll go back and see how developed it is now, what kind of people are there. I am looking forward to it, and I will look out for stories over there if there are any. Sometimes I narrate if I feel it's authentic, like my friend told me. Now her mother has also passed away, so I brought all that stuff back. She went, and before things were lying here, but I was back and forth between Dubai and Calcutta. On the time that I came and I said, okay, now that I'm here, I'm going to meet her mother, and at least had this vase over for her. Because her mother had built a beautiful corner for her with her photographs and child. When I get to the mother's also passed. So there's a big lock hanging, all the windows are closed. It's amazing how house closes on you. Because there's nobody left in that house. So the house is put on the lock. And I felt this many times over different families I've known. I still drive past and say, oh, that was the window, right? That was the window. There were people living there and then they died. But they're still here as long as we keep them in our hearts and memories, they're still alive. Because only we can talk to them. And each one, forget my mother, she was my mother, but each one was a character worth remembering, worth remembering. So I'll end today. I wish you good night and I'll catch up with you in a day or two. Okay? Good night.